So if you think if we walked away from this, didn't give them money today, it would be worse for us from a security standpoint?
I do. We're building a relationship that just did not exist. I said in our last trip when you were with me that we had a huge trust deficit, in part because the United States had, to be fair, we had helped to create the problem we're now fighting.
Also on foreign policy, he presented a very positive and, dare say, rosy picture of the so-called progress against ISIS or ISIL in Iraq and Syria. It's really hard. We're hard-pressed. Richard Engel has been reporting tonight, and I as well, hard-pressed to see the progress that they claim. Perhaps there's more stability in Iraq since there was last summer. That's what White House officials are telling us. You have a government there. Certainly not the stand.
Because when the Soviet Union invaded Afghanistan, we had this brilliant idea that we were going to come to Pakistan and create a force of mujahideen, equip them with Stinger missiles and everything else to go after the Soviets inside Afghanistan. And we were successful. The Soviets left Afghanistan, and then we said, great, goodbye.
Standing up of the Syrian Free Army, and certainly not progress against Assad or progress against ISIS, certainly in Syria. So the civil war rages on. We are seeing an explosion of anger around the Muslim world at Charlie Hebdo and at perceived anti-Muslim sentiment. Things are in a pretty dire state. We don't have cooperation in Nigeria against Boko Haram. I mean, it's hard to see the progress that the president talked about there.
Leaving these trained people who were fanatical in Afghanistan and Pakistan, leaving them well armed, creating a mess, frankly, that at the time we didn't really recognize. We were just so happy to see the Soviet Union fall, and we thought, okay, fine, we're okay now. Everything's going to be so much better. Now you look back, the people we're fighting today, we were supporting in the fight against the Soviets.
The truth is that the story of Al-Qaeda is much more complex than we have been led to believe. That Osama bin Laden is at best the dupe of Western intelligence forces and likely their collaborator. That he may in fact have died shortly after 9/11. And that his all-pervasive Al-Qaeda organization, with its alleged link to seemingly every terrorist incident in the world today, is in fact a media creation, a childlike simplification of a complex web of organizations led and populated by double agents and fictitious characters. The truth is that Al-Qaeda, as we have been led to understand it, does not exist.
So we've never made the case or argued the case that somehow Osama bin Laden was directly involved in 9/11. That evidence has never been forthcoming.